Welcome to This Explainer. We're jumping right in today. We're doing a fast-paced, highly practical, head-to-toe breakdown of human behavior. If you've ever wanted to decode what people are actually thinking, beyond just the words coming out of their mouths, you are exactly where you need to be. Let's build your ultimate real-world playbook for reading body language.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Can you actually spot a liar just by looking them in the eye? Look, it's a massive myth that liars always avoid eye contact. Actually, scratch that, it's worse than a myth. It's a trap. In the real world, skilled deceivers know exactly how to hold your gaze to appear genuine. To truly read someone's intent, we have to look much deeper than that. So before we start playing detective, we need a starting point. We need to establish a baseline. This is just a person's normal, comfortable state. Are they naturally fidgety? Do they normally speak slowly? You have to know what their baseline looks like first so you can spot any sudden, unusual shifts that scream discomfort or deception. It's like finding true north on a compass before you start your hike.
Now, what's really interesting here is a major trap we all fall into. We naturally look at people's faces first, right? But facial expressions are actually the absolute easiest part of the body to fake. Think about it. From a young age, we're taught to mask our true feelings. We fake smile for family photos. That means a friendly, smiling face can easily hide a highly negative emotion right underneath the surface. Speaking of faking it, you really need to look closely at smiles in your day-to-day life. A polite, fabricated social smile usually just involves the mouth. It's just muscles pulling the lips up. But a genuine Duchenne smile, that's completely different. True enjoyment unconsciously engages the muscles around the eyes. If you don't see those characteristic crow's feet crinkling up, well, that smile might just be a social mask. So if the face lies, what's next? Well, we should actually be listening. Through a concept called vocal leakage, a person's voice can accidentally betray them, even when their words are perfectly rehearsed. You want to listen for unusually long pauses, stumbles like and a sudden shift to a higher pitch. That pitch shift, it's a massive, massive indicator of leaking fear or anger. Moving down to the torso and arms, we hit a powerful truth about human behavior. The body is considered the best source for interpreting deception because it's the most uncontrollable. It's literally hardwired. Under stress or deceit, our autonomic nervous system just takes over. It produces these involuntary chemical responses that are incredibly difficult, almost impossible to suppress in real time. And under that stress, people unconsciously perform what we call pacifying and ventilating behaviors to cool themselves down in the real world. Watch for people touching their neck, pulling at a shirt collar to literally let heat out, running fingers through their hair, or suddenly crossing their arms defensively. These are physical attempts by the body to just calm the brain down during a high-stakes conversation. Which brings us to a really fascinating question. If the face easily lies, the voice leaks, and the torso tries to comfort itself, what is the most honest part of the human body? Like, where should you actually be looking for the absolute, unvarnished truth? The punchy answer is your feet. I know, it sounds crazy, but the lower extremities often reveal exactly what the face is trying to hide. Why? Because our feet are governed by the primitive limbic part of our brain, the part responsible for keeping us safe. And since we almost never police what our feet are doing, they are incredibly honest barometers of our true feelings. And this brilliantly illustrates what you should be looking for out in the wild. If someone's foot is pointing 90 degrees toward an exit, they desperately want to leave, regardless of how engaged their face looks. Also watch for happy feet, bouncing up and down, or the repetitive ankle quiver, where they roll the foot outward. That one is a huge, often missed indicator of hidden agitation. Okay, let's pivot for a second from detecting deceit to proactively building trust. Just think about this massive number for a moment. 70%. A fascinating study showed that waiters who actively use specific body language techniques with their customers didn't just have friendlier interactions, they received a massive 70% increase in their tips. No way, right? But it totally works. The psychological secret behind that bump in tips is something called isopraxism. It's basically a non-learned neurobehavior where you unconsciously mimic the gestures, speech, and attitudes of another person. This subtle mirroring sends a really powerful subconscious message of likeness and familiarity to the person you're interacting with. It literally hardwires trust right into the conversation. So the crucial point is how you actually use this. Here is your practical, real-world playbook for using isopraxism to instantly build trust, whether you're in a tough business negotiation or just out on a first date. Step 1.
subtly adopt a similar stance or posture. Step 2, match their breathing rhythm. And step 3, which works like absolute magic, casually repeat the last 3 words they just said right back to them. We've covered a lot of fantastic ground today, giving you a real-world, top-down playbook for reading people and building rapport. So I want to leave you with this final, provocative thought to take out into the world. The next time you walk into a room, who will you really be listening to? Their carefully chosen words or their incredibly honest feet? Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and have a blast applying this playbook in the real world.